Hello. Hi, Starseeds. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I was having some problems setting up before. I am Akasha Azurite. Welcome to Galactic Spy Podcast. I am a Starseed way shower. Anybody who's tuning in, this is my vlogging, if you want to say, for energy updates and Ascension life. And today, the words that came through, and it's not words, it's light keys. Light keys that came through is old program collapsers. So all of us, as in the all, light workers, indigos, starseeds, rainbow warriors, different frequencies of us, all of us that came in here, way showers and forerunners, or foot runners, frontliners. We are old programmers, collapsers, keywords, old program collapsers. So the reason why I call this podcast the Galactic Spy Podcast is because that's exactly who we are. So a lot of us are advanced spiritual beings that have come in here on many different contracts and many different levels. So hopefully you'll be able to follow me. Now, before I didn't understand my contracts, but now I do. So I do call them Galactic Spy contracts, especially for the starseeds and indigos that are galactic traveler spies too as well, that come in here on contracts to collapse old programs. Many different contracts coming in here. A lot of us indigo type 3s have major galactic spy contracts, I call them, and indigo type 1s too as well. So when just referring to the galactic spy is that we go on secret missions, and we do go on secret missions. We have many missions here. And a lot of us are vortexes for collapsing old programs, and how we do it is we collapse it within ourselves. So I do want to just explain the light technology behind Galactic Spy Podcast, Galactic Traveler Spy Podcast. That is my name, my light code here. I'm sure some of you guys can resonate with it, and I'll get back to the reason why. We have the fall equinox. It has been a slamming day with plasma frequencies the past 3 days, I'm going to say, with new upgrades, plasma upgrades, all here in the crown. And it's the higher harmonic universes, higher harmonic universe 4, 5, and I know there's a harmonic universe 6. We only know of the first 5, and that's fine, but there's higher Stargate structures all the way up. So we have all rewriting and recoding all these new upgrades coming in. I'm going to say from the heart all the way up. So it seems like the upper body is going through major upgrades. Slamming, when I say slamming plasma frequencies, I have been down with plasma wave incomes, upgrades from the right side of my brain and the left side of my brain too as well. So I don't know if you guys are experiencing this, but for us going through the Ascension process, if you are new going through the Ascension process, or if you are, Ascension is the spiritual awakening. Ascension is the physical body ascension. That's going to be different. That's physical body ascension symptoms. You have to learn to go with the flow, if you're going to say, and know when to rest. So yesterday I had to stop everything that I was doing because I was upgrading, and I could see all the old programming coming up within me, and it's internal collapses, and we have the fall equinox. So that's going to be 922. And I have my workshops. All my workshops are done on very high light code and upgrade frequency dates. So tuning in for tomorrow, we have major plasma frequencies, new diamond DNA coming in, and also a lot of us are working on internally collapsing the prison programming and old programming. Now, what is the internal prison? Well, the internal prison in itself is going to be all fear programming, stress, fear, guilt, survival, victim programming, manipulation programming, all programming and old programming. Okay, so we have to collapse everything within us. So a lot of you guys are going to be experiencing phoenix cycles. There's lots of dragon energies. I saw a huge dragon in my living room. Absolutely beautiful dragon, ultraviolet dragon, huge gigantic dragon, just sitting there right over top of me. And I'm like, oh hey, that's my norm. That's pretty much my normal, seeing the crystalline matrix and silicon matrix. So when I see something, I'm like, oh my god, you're huge, you're really big. Sometimes I'll see small dragons too, like gold small dragons as well. But I saw a huge dragon, and I just did a class probably about a week ago. We were working with all kinds of dragons and different types of frequencies of dragons. So I saw a huge dragon. Yeah. So there's lots of dragons, energetics, clearings, and the frequencies, and they also will help you with deprogramming, and they're deprogramming in the physical. So the physical collapses are actually internally within us. So the phoenix cycles are going to be internal death and rebirth cycles. So what I've been experiencing, I'm going to tell you so you guys can understand that this is obviously collective. Pounding headaches, kind of like feeling somebody's taken an ice chip through your head, and that's, I know when it's an upgrade, because if I go down right now, I pretty much know that there's a huge plasma wave coming in. Now, the second sign that I have that we have huge plasma frequencies coming through, I actually see the sun through my third eye. So I tune into the aurora sun, and I'll be laying there, and as I'm laying, I can actually see the sun, the pulsatings from the sun. The sun is very connected to me. The galactic central sun is connected to me. The aurora sun, there's different dimensions of the sun too as well. There's a Sirius B sun too that pulsates to me and sends me light technology too as well. So in higher harmonic universes, I work with the harmonic universe 5 galactic central suns. There's different suns that are located and higher harmonic universes too as well. So I automatically know it's plasma, and I know where it's coming from, because I can usually detect if I start seeing sparks of the sun flashing, and it's absolutely beautiful. So it's Christed, it is the Christed diamond sun, and I can see it pulsating, but what it's doing, it's actually building the whole Christ consciousness, Christed system, and it's a whole Christed, like aurora system, a whole new system that's coming in, and whole new frequency downloads and upgrades. So my crown feels like it's burning. The whole upper of my body feels like it's on fire. Okay, my lips are vibrating. I can't talk anymore, as you can notice. I have a lisp. All my lips, everything's vibrating. My whole face is vibrating. It's like brrrr. My heart center is vibrating. Harmonics are coming out of my heart chakra and singing music, and that's normal. So it's like singing tones like Kira Shati Ono Shati Ana Sati Ana, and they'll sing and sing and sing, and it's the harmonics of my universe, if you want to say, my heart chakra. Once you start constructing at a certain Merkaba vehicle phase in the super quantum computer system, I will be singing. Now my galactic husband will pulsate, and as we pulsate, we have music that comes out that sounds different frequencies and sound tones. I am sounding more robotic. I have major light frequencies where when you talk to me, and a lot of my star family, Jen, that's in the Netherlands, keeping it real, if you want to say, over in Lemuria in the Netherlands, and then I have Dominique in Ohio, and when they talk to me, Jen's just like, all I hear is this light robotic. That's it. That's all I hear is this robot like talking to me. She's like, just stay in the quantum realms. Um, so connecting with my family now, I sound very super quantum computer system robotic voice, but it's source. So you have to understand that I'm a very Christ consciousness. It's the full embodiment of source. The avatar, the pure of the avatar consciousness is going to sound robotic. So I'm experiencing these symptoms. If you guys start sounding like this or start hearing yourself as a robotic frequency of sound music, and it's sound and music, and music's coming from my heart chakra, and harmonics and angelic, and I'm developing the wings, which is a beautiful experience, and also with my divine partner. So we're developing the wings, and I have wings here. So I have a headdress that you can't see unless you can see the Celica matrix. And this is something else. This is as you guys activate, you're going to be able to regain your sight back, okay? Where you will be able to tune into these crystal headdressings on your heart chakra in here. And this is definitely an upgrade that's coming in through the throat chakra. And there's all these headdresses, and I have a headdress that is a Sears, and it is a Sears headdress, and it has two wings right here, and I can see it. And it does look a little bit like Isis, and I will say that it does look like Isis's wings, but it's most likely Angelic's, and I'm going to say angelic wings. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's a Christed diamond headdress, and I can actually tune into it and see it through my third eye, because my third eye is so big, okay? So just letting you know, I'm able to tune into the frequency plasmas, and then also events that are universal events, and they'll come through like a download through my third eye and through my priestess, I guess you would say my priestess crown. But see, I'm both. So I'm a neutral being, so I'm just gonna say the avatar itself. Hot. Your body should be on fire, hot, vibrating. Music coming from the heart center will be normal when you get to a Merkaba vehicle phase 3. So I'm just kind of sharing these symptoms that are coming through. We're having major wing expansion. Now, the wings is the Merkaba vehicle. Everybody says angel wings. It's fine. We all have angel wings somewhere in a dimension. If you're a seraphim, and I believe, trust me, if I see dragons and everything else in my living room, and elementals, I know that we have wings, but the wings are a part of the Merkaba vehicle, and that's like a whole structure that's going down. So we're definitely, the tree of life, if you want to say, is opening up an expansion. We're detoxing in the spinal cords. All right, spinal cords, detoxing right here in the back. Now, the back. Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. The spinal cord, all the way from the heart chakra going all the way up to the Godhead, is under a new upgrade, but we're detoxing. What are we detoxing? Well, you're detoxing everything from this incarnation. You need to think about all of the stress, impurities. We're actually detoxing it out of the back, where if you're going to have angel wings, your shoulder blades are all right here. Everything's going through a huge upgrade and detoxing and clearing, okay? So all your impurities are coming up, and I'm talking about all the old programming is right here. Do you know how like our backs are really tough? All the stress. The matrix system is just built on stress and fear and control. Domestication. I call it the slave system. I am going to call it the slave system because that's what it is. The internal prison is collapsing within us, so everything needs to be purified. So the body is going through purification. You could be burning up. Now, you have to understand that my higher self is most likely getting closer to me. So that's cool. There's integrations, closer integrations, or actually full embodiment. I've had my higher self stretching in my body before, trying to stretch into a little physical body. It's a big being. What else? Vibration. Vibrating at light speed. hot and cold. Oh yeah, I can feel and smell all the density coming out of my crown. So all the smell of the detoxing and the old programming. Fear actually does smell, and it will smell. Density stinks, and you can smell it, and it's, it is what it is. You wouldn't know until you actually can smell it. But I was like, there's all these fear programs, right? Because I can see everything coming up inside. Now it's in the physical vessel, and I explain this all the time when I work with clients. It's in the physical vessel, okay? The imprisonments, the internal imprisonments, the matrices, everything is in the physical vessel, okay? The consciousness, as you hold more light, it starts going through an upgrade and has to collapse. The higher self is trying to push itself through a little pee hole, is what I say, and trying to fill with light, and the higher self is light, and then it will start to come in and open up and to expand. But everything internally is actually in the matrix of the physical body. We can expand to higher states of consciousness all we want, but you will end up dropping majority of the time because of the physical body. It's a physical body that needs to go up to par. Okay, the physical body is what needs to transform and change. We're going from a carbon-based body to a crystalline body. Okay, if you want to see what the crystalline is, scroll down on my page, and look for, I have little videos of me showing my arms and my legs of the crystalline physical body, so you have an understanding of what the crystal body looks like. My crystals will change in color from pink to blue and to different frequencies of color or sheer. So I do show you that the crystal body is real. If I work on you, if I work with you, you're most likely going to crystallize. You're doing everything yourself. I'm just the key coder transmitter, if you want to say. I'm like the transmitter for the crystalline matrix. So it is the physical body that is going through the upgrade itself. So the body is going through an upgrade and also a collapsing and programming. Now, the reason why I call us the Galactic Spies is because we're the ones doing it. We're the ones, we're collapsing all of these programs within us. So we have to go through these vortexes, and sometimes some of us have to go into the 3D and into the 4D as like little galactic spies, okay? I do call it galactic spies. Like, for example, we went in today. So we're up here in North Carolina, and lots of love to everyone in North Carolina. We're here in North Carolina, and we decided that we're going to stay here on the property. So we're out looking for apartments or for houses or whatever. And obviously, when I go with my crew, I have really big blue Andromedans that come with me. I know I'm galactic. I'm way past the amnesia part, and that's like another podcast. Another video, another time. But I'm way past the amnesia of knowing that I'm a galactic. I can actually see them, and they're my family. So anyways, I have a whole entourage that comes with me, and they're really big blue beings. If you actually ever tune into them, they'll be sitting there like doing chi balls and stuff in front of you. But they're my family, and I take them everywhere with me. So when we go places, we pretty much clean house. So when we go into the 3D as a galactic spy, and that's what I play with them at this point, we go into huge places, and we go into the 3D realms like shopping centers and whatnot. So I realized, I was like, oh, let's go. We'll start looking at apartments, guys, and houses. Let's go see what's up. So these are for watchers and different way showers that can probably resonate with this, and you'll realize later on that you've been doing these crazy contracts the whole time with your galactics as you start moving your veils of amnesia and you start waking up, and all the crazy stuff that you used to do, and you used to go into all these places, and like, why did I go there? Well, it's your contract, most likely your higher self. It depends on what your contracts are, if you're a guardian or different galactics. Some are commanders too as well. And you go into really big places, and what you're doing is dissolving old programming, or most likely collapsing, or you're cleaning up. So you could be cleaning up like something huge and not realizing that you're doing it. You wouldn't know until you start removing all your veils of amnesia and you start having communication with your team, if you want to say, your entourage, your family. So we started going in there. It's just really funny. I have all of them with me and we're like, party in the car, but they're blue. They're in a higher dimension, and I always have to remember, I'm like, I know you guys are in a higher dimension, but they teleport to me in and out, so we're like at a way different level. It said, yeah, my best friends look like actual like avatar beings. My family are like big, huge blue beings, and they look like avatars from the movie. So we'll be loading up the car and going. We're searching for obviously a house, an apartment here in North Carolina. So I realized, again, I was like, oh, we're gonna go clean up some realty properties. What we're doing is we're going in, and we have to go into the 3D, okay, which is the third dimension, obviously, into the fourth dimension, and we're collapsing. So we have to collapse, and I realize I'm a vortex. For a split second, I forgot, but I realize I'm a vortex. So I have to see all the programming and all the structures of the fear programming of this dimension. And then that's how we actually, what we're doing is we're internally collapsing it within us, if that makes any sense. All the fear programming behind it. You have to do the application, you know, you have to get the deposit, all this stuff. I realized that it's the contract to go in to start actually looking as an observer to seeing what is the structures and in the old programming here. So what are we going to do? And that's why I call us, as in all of you, starseeds, indigos, light workers, we are old programmer collapsers. Okay, so what we're doing is we're actually going in to be an observer and to kind of look around, and besides the fact looking at the new places, to see what do we need to do. But we have to feel everything and all the programming and all the fear programming and the survival programming, and a lot of survival programming, just letting you know. Okay, there's a lots of program there that you have to go in internally to experience it, and you can actually tune into the consciousness of all the programs and the old programs, and then you start working. I'm working on a contract to collapse them. Okay, so now I realize there's a collective of us, because I keep talking to a few people and everyone's looking for a new place, right? Everyone's transitioning. A lot of us are transitioning from one location, and I do say one location. I feel like I'm like on a squad, from one location to a new one, or we're transitioning from we're actually transitioning from one dimension to another dimension. So a lot of us in the collectives are kind of working on the same projects. So what we're doing is we're kind of working into the realtor industry right now, and it's quite funny tuning into this. So we're going in, and it's like my whole family, and we're sitting here, we're looking at the place, and I have to be normal, and it's really funny because I have to act normal, and we're all looking at the cupboards, and you have to understand that we're at light speed and we have quantum abilities. Okay, so our quantum abilities are advanced abilities. When I move, okay, and I'm gonna say we, okay, I'm going to say we because it's my multidimensionals too. They're here with me, kind of checking everything out, and I'm multidimensional, so I have multidimensional higher selves. I've had major integrations here, so we'll be looking around, and I remember I have to be normal because my gifts are at light speed. Okay, my gifts are I can move very fast in all these different directions. It's the Merkaba actually that does it, and we'll start moving in all these funny directions, and we're quantum abilities. So you have to be normal when you get to this level. And I'm sitting there going, I'm like, oh my God, because I'm moving from one direction to the other direction, and I have to remember that I'm standing here with a person that is not awoken yet at all. So and I'm sitting here looking at this property with this amazing realtor, and he's like absolutely amazing, and I can tell that he's actually in the beginning stages of his awakening. So I was moving from one direction, and I realized my higher self is like, don't move that fast, because I'm moving at all these really funny sacred geometry, kind of just looking at the covers, and I'm moving at light speed. So you have to understand, what is light speed. Light speed is like almost teleportation. So, so as I'm sitting here, I had to be normal in front of people, and it's been like this for almost a year since my quantum abilities have enhanced. And since the quantum abilities, you will start speeding at light speed, and everything is at light and sacred geometry. So when I move, I have to be normal in front of 3D or fourth dimensional frequency bandwidths, human species, and that's what they are. And I have to, you will realize as you advance, you will start quantumly moving fast in all these fast directions. Okay. And it's really a funny experience where my higher self will be like, you have to slow down. It's trying to like get me to stop, because I'll be moving like this in all these different directions. So I'm sitting here looking through, you know, the cupboards and all this, you know, just kind of looking around the house. And all my multidimensionals are like moving, and they're like looking at all the energetics, you know, dimensions of the whole property, because we're looking for vortexes. And of course, when I get there, I start looking at these places because I keep getting it through my third eye, and I'll get certain places through my third eye because that's how we see our timelines. So I sit there and I always ask them, I'm like, okay, so what are we doing? Are we going in a contract? That would be like the next thing. So if you guys understand, like, what contracts do we have? The places I have been led to with my councils are insane since 2013, okay? I have been led into places where I realize that I'm cleaning beyond what you can even imagine. I'm cleaning house, and we call it cleaning house. So every place that I go to, I realize is a mission that they send me in on. Now I do. So when I go, I sit there, now I ask. Before I didn't. And I realized, I was like, what is it? What's on the property? How many portals are open? I was like, did anybody pass away here that I need to go cross over? And this will be a medium, because you go through your mediumship too. When you go through your mediumship, you can end up having like 1,000 souls that you'll be going to a location. 1,000 souls need to cross over, and then you'll be taking them through different transit portals at the same time. Some people use stargates or a stargate. There's different portals that you can take them to. So you don't really know what you're doing. So when I went to go see all these houses coming through my third eye, because that's how I receive, and you'll realize where I'm getting at. I sit there and I ask them, okay, all the time. I'm like, okay, so what are we really going here for? Now I realize what we're doing is multiple programming, multiple levels. I'm in Asheville, and I know they want me to stay there, but I told them, I said, there's just no way, because it's the energetics is beautiful and the vortexes are beautiful, but it's too congested and I can feel it. I need a little bit more space because of transformers, telephone poles, and everything else. It's not that I'm picky, is that I can pick up on the receivers like a radio station and the electrical currents. If I walk underneath one, I can feel it. So we're kind of just like looking around, but we're doing multiples. I tell my big blues and my galactic councils and different ships that we actually have to start checking everything. So we check, like, oh my god, we check ley lines, landlines, all kinds of stuff, telephone poles, everything when we're there. So I tell them just to work from the floor up. So I realize majority of the places, I'm like, okay, just tell me the truth, because I don't think I'm going to be getting this house, but I will go on these missions. How many portals are open on the property? Is like, what exactly do we need to do? What are we collapsing? So we're internally collapsing. So I realized after so many years of all the crazy places that they took me to go and clear and shut down portals on houses, properties, everything else that they sent me into, eventually I realized that they were putting me on missions the whole time. So now I catch on to it. So I was like, so what do we have to dissolve in the realtor industry, as far as, you know, apartments, houses, rentals, units, all those programmings and stress programmings. I'm using myself as a vortex right now. And if you realize, you will realize that we are here to collapse all of the old programs, collapsing the 3D matrix. We're here to collapse the 4D matrix too as well. So this is obviously what we're doing, but we do it internally within us. So me, as I'm clearing as a vortex all of the 3D programming that comes up, just doing this one contract, I'm doing it on a collective level. if you can follow. If you get really cool, you can actually start having fun with your galactics and actually go in to places and know what you're actually doing. This is when you get to a certain template and you can actually tune in and say, okay, let's go clean this place up. Let's go clean this place up. I know I did hotels for a while too. So you can clean up hotels. You can go traveling and clean up all the hotels on the way with your higher selves. And you can actually have fun being a galactic spy. Because that's exactly what we are. A lot of us are traveler spies too, coming in here as observers. So I definitely know I'm one of them. I realize this, so just letting you know, it becomes fun. So I've sat there for so long because they walk me in on all these crazy places for years and years. And I realized, I sat here going, okay, just tell me my contracts at this point. Tell me what I'm doing. What do I need to do? Because I know that there's something big that you guys are cleaning up. And I know it. So I was like, you're not going to walk me here and go, oh, you know, it's really funny. Oh, we're going this place. Go to, you know, go to this, go to like the Smoky Mountains or Grandfather Mountain. And I'm like, what exactly are we really cleaning up over here? Right? You have to understand that it's nothing. I have to look at my contracts to start actually asking and looking at your contracts. You could be doing mediumship work, clearing and shutting down portals. It becomes fun after a while. So I just go in with my councils. And when I go in with my councils, we just go in, we clean house. So every single place that we go to, I'm like, well, we can go here. I was like, so let's just go. We'll go look for houses. And we'll be the galactic spy. So I do really funny stuff like that. Oh, that's funny. Thank you so much. So I've realized that it becomes fun after a while in the new earth because I'm a vortex. So what I'm trying to explain is that we are old programmer collapsers, and we collapse everything internally within us, and that's what we're doing. So a lot of us are working on multiple levels. The internal prison matrix has to dissolve, and a lot of us came in here, especially indigos. Indigos came in to collapse the matrix system. Starseeds came in to collapse the matrix system, but also to open the, I'm going to say, anchor in higher frequencies of Christ consciousness, some of us, and a lot of us to anchor in higher frequencies of light. There's multiple contracts with the starseed. Starseeds are also to open the heart centers of all of humanity. Crystal children, I believe, are more for love, and I resonate more with a crystal child. So I am doing some indigo work, and most of the time I'm doing my rainbow crystal child work is like spreading love and always giving love and sharing that presence, that light presence of divine love. But I do love doing my work as far as deprogramming. So the internal prison is the matrix prisons and the mind prisons, and I talk about this all the time. The recognizing that these are different prisons. There's frequency fences. There's wiring that you can hit to. Ooh, we hit some big ones the other night. I'm going to say, when did I wake up? I think it was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, we definitely hit some type of frequency fence wire, and I call it hitting a frequency wire. Now, the frequency wire can be a drop, and I realized that I woke up hitting a frequency wire, but I feel like it's for the collectives, that all of us can expand in lifting the veils of amnesia, and the veils lift like this. It kind of, it's like a sprouting, like sacred geometry print, and all of our veils lift all at the same time, because you have to understand that this is collective and that we're all interconnected because we're all source. So because we're all source, there's consciousness collectives of our soul groups that are expanding. So as all of us expand through the sacred geometry of light, and it does look like gold light, we're all opening up, and all of our veils are like it looks like crystallization flowers, a little bit like this, like crystals. If I was to show you, I don't have any pictures, I'll have to post it on my community page, but it'll look like this, and it'll look like, if you guys ever have seen those GIF or what is it, like graphics? It's like sacred geometry graphics, but it's like gold frequencies of light, and it's like breathing, and it's vibrational. It looks like vibration molecules, and that's us expanding the veils, like it breathes and then close. That's what it looks like. Actually, if you activate enough DMT in the brain and the pineal gland and the crystalline DMT, you actually will see it through your third eye. Will look like a flower opening up. It's actually really, it's amazing. And this is naturally produced, okay? So this is pretty much naturally produced, and it's the crystalline matrix. So we open like this and we breathe, because we're all vibration, and we all are frequency vibration. And we open. So all of us open, and as we open, it all ripples. So there's like thousands of us that are lifting their veils at the same time, and we're all like light networking around the planet, and we're all connected. It's through a soul group. So we all expand, okay? And as we expand, it's like opening up the flower. Well, something shifted and happened where we all hit a frequency fence. So there's a bunch of us that hit a frequency fence. So when we hit a frequency fence, you will drop. Now the dropping would be like doubts. So all of our doubts. Now what we have to do, the ones that recognize it, there's a pod, and everyone has like their own little crystal pods, if you want to say, in the collectives, and we're all connected through light, because we're all consciousness and we're all vibration, so we're all connected, okay? Kind of just follow me. So the ones that are really awake, if you want to say, and I hate saying really awake, aware, the ones that are truly aware, okay, are going to sprout out and to be able to see, okay, this is programs, okay? So what you will see is the programming, and you can see the drops, and when you actually see, oh, we hit a frequency fence. So when you actually see, all of us have hit, some of us have hit a frequency fence, and the drop would be the doubt. So there would be doubt, or this isn't real. Those are going to be big fences, wirings that we all hit, okay? So doubt, no, I'm not a starseed, I don't believe in this, I'm not an indigo, I'm nobody special, blah blah blah. Isn't, you know, the ego, if you want to say, you can call it the ego, all this little programming coming in on the right side. So that's a fence. So obviously we hit a fence, a lot of us hit a fence. So the ones that are really observant know, okay, a collective of us have hit a fence really hard, okay? Some of us, when they hit that fence, it could be like panic attacks for some in the vessels. So the ones that are really observant will sprout out and kind of sprout. As they sprout, they'll be able to see the programming. So if we can see the programming, and this is where we collapse the old programming. So we're able to observe and see what's happening, and we're able to break it down. And as we sit there and we dissolve it, we break it, and we break it in the matrix. We're actually breaking it for the collective groups that hit this wire. So if you notice, a lot of us are sprouting and expanding and lifting the veils, and as we lift all of our veils, we could be holding that frequency of not having amnesia anymore for, you know, it could be like a month, going like completely sprouted out like this cosmic flower, if you want to say, like going, I just know, you know, like all of a sudden I know who I am, and all your veils are lifted, and then boom, we all hit a fence. So it's all collectives in the pod. So the ones that are really observant, or if you want to say that know, oh, we just hit something really big, can actually go in to the quantum computer system, and the computer system is the matrix in itself, if you want to say a matrix. There's different dimensions, but it's the Mercury vehicle of the ship that is the Earth ship. So we're able to go into that, and there's all these other different programs. There is these other matrices, other programs. But anyways, somebody will eventually figure out where is it coming from in the frequency net, and then we can sit there and, you know, deprogram and deprogram and deprogram. And those are the ones that are like us, that can actually see it. Now, it might take us to drop to be able to see. We have to drop enough to say, oh, we just hit something really hard. And it's a lot of us, so it's collective wise. You have to understand that everything is collective, and it's different groups that are here. So you can see it, and then the ones that are like really DMT'd activated out there in the pineal glands, if you want to say, will go and start kind of chipping away, or can actually go and start like deprogramming and deprogramming, kind of like my Arcturian can just, my Arcturian multidimensional, I know it's like I have a mantis too that will just, and we can just chip it away and just deactivate it. So a lot of us that are speaking light language, I don't think you guys realize like what technologies that you guys have at all. I'm hoping to train more starseeds and indigos that are speaking light language. And light language, you can do beyond what you can even imagine with this light technology if you are speaking it. So you can go in and we can actually dissolve the old programming and collapse the matrix. So collapse matrices, and we do it for collectives and for the all. Okay, so I hope you guys are able to follow. But all of us, when we lift our veils, you have to understand that there's a collective that's lifting the veils, and it looks like a sprouted, like it looks like gold sprouting light technology. Like it's a huge flower that opens up, like, and it's not a flower of life, but it looks like it looks like it's breathing and vibrational in sacred geometry print. It's the most beautiful, if you tune into the structures of it and the blueprints of it. And that's us sprouting out and lifting our veils. If you activate your DMT enough and your pineal gland, which this is, people are like, okay, activating your DMT. Well, let's move just for one thing before I end this. Okay, you have to understand that there's, you can call it the different levels, but I'm going to say levels for you guys because I don't know what else to say. I just speak the words vibrationally through light, and then hopefully you guys get it on a quantum level, and to just receive the transmission through your heart center. So what I'm trying to say is that it's the crystalline silicon matrix is where I'm at. So it's the crystalline brain, I guess you would call it that, right? The pineal gland and the pituitary gland, and there's other structures too, that this is, I produce, and I'm going to say we, because we produce mounds and mounds of crystalline DMT. So as we produce it more and more, we are able to see vibration. So when you're actually walking, we see your crystallization. We can see your crystallization. We can see your rainbow spectrums. This is where you will start to see auras at first, but we can see the crystal structures, and then we can actually see the vibrations of you breathing. A lot of people have experiences, I guess, like this on psychedelics, and I wouldn't know because I've never done psychedelics before. So I have no idea. It's just like pure crystalline DMT, plasma DMT is what I produce naturally. So it looks absolutely beautiful, and you can actually see everything, the molecules, the vibrational frequencies. When I tune in, I can actually see the chakras moving and breathing. So the flowers, the lotus flowers, everybody, in history is drawn. It's very real, but it's more crystalline. When I expand enough, and I actually truly expand, it does look like little triangles. So vibrations will look like triangles. So if you guys ever seen those, I guess you would call them the beautiful spiritual DMT art. It's very similar. That is exactly what everything looks like in the light body itself. So the light body looks like different geometrics of different it would look like geometrics and different vibrational blueprint structures, if I was going to say. And you'll be able to see all the light strands coming out, and the connections, kind of like the networks coming out of the brain, and all the cords that are running out of the heart. And you should be able to see your Merkaba. I've been able to see mine for a long time. So if you do experience this, you are actually seeing most likely your light body, your Merkaba. If you actually look up, you should be able to see a Stargate too. Eventually, if you start to focus, try focusing at night and turn off the lights and start seeing vibrations and light energy at night, because that's how I see it. I see everything in the dark better. You have to wait for the veils to drop, and you should be able to see if you actually can tune in. Let's say that you guys have been constructing your light body for a while, then you should be able to tune in. Try tuning in with all the, say hello to our parrot. Try tuning in with the lights off and looking up, and you should be able to see that you could possibly see blueprints, and it will look blue, blueprints of your Stargate, and you should be able to tune into a Stargate and your Merkaba vehicle. The tetrahedron's moving, so you can start seeing the vibrational frequencies of the movement of your vehicle. This is our parrot. So you should be able to see everything moving, and everything will move quantumly fast at light speed. So it's really, this is as you start to expand. If you want to, I told people this, if you really want to activate the crystalline DMT to be able to have these experiences that I have, go do sun gazing and learn how to sun gaze and activate the sun. I was just activated by the sun and had pulsates through the sun. I wasn't sun gazing at this time. It was the sun that actually pretty much decalcified my third eye completely. Oh, it's the galactic central sun is the one that came through and just bursted open my third eye. I wasn't sun gazing at this time. But if I was going to recommend expansion, you want to sun gaze. Now when I sun gaze, there's all these different techniques. It doesn't matter. When I sun gaze, I actually focus right here on my crystal crown, and I breathe in and activate my crystal crown, which is our crystal headdress. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's there. If you actually tune in and you can activate it, there's all these different techniques, but try activating your crystal crown, starseeds and indigos and light workers, and see if you guys can actually see it. You can see my third eye coming out. Look, see, it's big. So just sit there and focus the sun rays in and activate the crown dressing. Try to do it for 30 days and see what happens. Try all my stuff for 30 days and see what happens to you, and see if you start having high psychic abilities, and if you start advancing quantumly. And it's quantum. We're going quantum, you guys. Quantum timelines, light speed, abilities, teleportation, biolocation, stuff like that is becoming real in existence here in the physical. Okay, so please be aware of that. I have a workshop tomorrow. If you guys want to join, you can check out my new website at starseedevolutionunited.net. I have a workshop at 5:55. It's a quantum portal. And we're going to be doing an abundance workshop, Stargate. It's 4 levels. You'll be learning how to quantum manifest through conscious creation, different techniques through your Merkaba vehicle. And I'll be teaching you how to reset your money alignment. And we're also on Saturday, we have another workshop too, and that's going to be Mastery Star Code Psychic Development. I love you. So please check them out. Lots of love.